and so much more at the palm of your hand. To get the app, simply search KBC Mobile Digital app in your Google Play or App Store and download the app. Catch what you want, anytime, anywhere. Stay connected. Stay ahead with KBC Mobile Digital app.
I never heard the music so sweet. I repeat.
Well, go on, my brethren, big things are going. Remember, each and every Monday we have to shell down the place with nothing but the best of smooth way the vibes in your favorite station. You know these things, man.
Alafu kila Tuesday, kata simu tupo side, giving you Kenyan music from the 254.
And of course, you can spice up your Wednesday by enjoying blazing hot hip-hop and R&B jams.
We don't got no label. She say she want bottles.
Vibes and vibes as we go all across Africa, Kenya, Nigeria, Ghana, all the way to Tanzania to give you nothing but the best on Afro Thursday. Make sure you make a date with us each and every single Friday with me, DJ_Liza Diva,
DJ Colda,
and me, Wanjiko. This is Club One Extra.
Unanifanya nisikie kunyongwa. Hadija ai, money especially ukisonga.
Technology has become a crucial part of our society. Without technological advancements, so much of our everyday lives would be drastically different. As technology develops, it strives to fulfill the changing needs of society. This means that technology exists to help us achieve the things that we wouldn't be able to achieve without it. Take on Tech looks at the advantages and downside of technological innovation in a world that is becoming increasingly dependent on new digital technologies. Every Monday at 10:30 p.m.
This is a school, not an organization. Being a student leader is a privilege. So if all of you have settled for Kamene, Kamene it is.
Thank you, Madimo. I might be soft on the outside, you guys, but inside, I am tough.
Arube, do you work as a morgue attendant?
Trying to make ends meet, Mwalimu.
Omera, the only end you will meet at the mall is you.
Pay me in Kenyan shillings, Bwana.
Mr. Teacher. I will hope research on. They are fine, Mr. Teacher.
But umenipia wewe.
Una chafua.
Tabadi yuko lakini tabadi yetu ni sabi.
Are you with us?
I'm with us.
Ngabla mbinu gugu metokea moto. Moto nini kazi toma.
Uwele tem.
Mimi sina nguvu.
Ongea kwa sauti ya chini.
All rais, bwana simameni bwana.
Tiende chini, tabandi chu, nimebagea hapa.
Mimi ni wakili mkubwa sana.
Hicho maana nataka tujuane.
Hii ni ile moto ile nyongo last week, iweka kando.
Oh,
Mkaka amefungwa.
sio mkaka. Mama kaya yeye atanyongwa.
Morning to you. My name is Daniel Wahome and welcome to Sports Check on this Monday morning. Well, it is the 9th day of December 2012 and you know what? We've got the Kakamega ICT hubs that are going to be launched today. We also have got the East African Community Interparliamentary Games happening. So lots of stories to catch up on and talk about today from our news perspective. Our diary, I can simply say, is fully booked. And just a quick update, rains have hit Mombasa this morning, so the East Africa community interparliamentary games were postponed moment due to heavy rains witnessed this morning. But now the rains have subsided, and so we now have got the action going on. Dan Wendwa is going to be joining us later from Mombasa, giving us an update on the conversations with the parliamentarians from the region who are participating in those games. But on Sports Check today, also, we're going to be having two conversations. One, about a sport where if you are not afraid of water that is in excess of one basin, and it is moving and it is rough, then you can participate in it. We're talking about whitewater rafting, and so we're going to be speaking with William Kinothia and Richard Ombeba, who are from the Kenya Rafting Federation. But right now, let's talk about mixed martial arts, and to be specific, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. And we've got two people who are instructors, one and is senior to the other, but they're all involved here. And in studio with me, we've got Usama Ali. How are you? Good morning to you.
Morning. How are you?
Very well. And by the way, Usama has been in a mixed martial arts competition in Uganda. Kenya, why are we being overtaken by our brothers from Uganda when it comes to combat sports? They're doing more in boxing, they're doing more in mixed, they also have got their mixed martial arts series. What's happening there? And also, we've got Omer Jamal. Welcome.
Thank you very much.
And Omer Jamal is from the neighboring country, Ethiopia. So it's time for me to tell him, Tenestelin.
Thank you very much. Tenestelin.
Yeah, Amaseglano. I also know that.
Yeah, that's great.
Well, so let's just start this conversation here. And, in November, Osama, you traveled to Uganda and got to participate in a mixed martial arts event.
Yes, sir.
And just give me a whole idea, getting into MMA rather than, jiu-jitsu competition proper.
I would say MMA is very different from jiu-jitsu sport-wise, because jiu-jitsu you grapple most of the time, but MMA is more of a striking and grappling at the same time. So basically MMA means mixed martial arts. You get to be punched on the face, so you have to be very careful transitioning your jiu-jitsu into the fight or the cage. So you have to be really cautious on getting punched and at the same time transitioning your grappling art into the striking as well. But talking about the fight, it was a good challenge for me. I really worked on the fight with my coach Omar here and my other coach from Nairobi Jiu-Jitsu Academy. I will say it was a big shot for me making into the MMA industry. It was my first fight and I got a title shot, which is the featherweight East Africa Championship. And I managed to pull it out very nicely, simple, and looking forward to the next fight.
But let's look at that scene, the Blood Warriors Championship that was in Kampala, Uganda. He fought against Samson Serunjoji and winning that, and he was a more experienced fighter. What were the things that you picked out from your travels to Uganda?
I will say, speaking of the fighter, I will say he's a good striker. He clipped me on the chin during the first few seconds of the fight. As you can see from the fights, either YouTube or any other channel. But he's a good striker, and getting into the cage, I was a bit terrified from the striking.
By striking, you mean the punches?
The punches and the kicks as well, because he first kicked me and then ended up clipping me on the chin. I almost lost conscious in a split second, but came back strong. And hearing from my corner that I should put my hands up and stick to the plans, I did as they said and stuck to the plan, executed my submission, signature move, Amba. But it was a good fight from both sides.
Well, and when you see, we all know about people like Francis Ngannou and all the others and how they do their mixed martial arts. Omer, having coached him and being in his, being at his corner and seeing, all the action that he saw there, what were the things that, you picked up from that contest?
So when it comes to an MMA contest, most of the time, so Osama comes from a grappling background. We need just to fix a few things on his striking, and his game plan. And we knew that his opponent is also tough, he's strong, and he's a good striker. Multiple champions when it comes to striking games. But we worked on a game plan.
Because Samson is more of a kickboxer.
He's more of a kickboxer. He has an MMA background. He has a good MMA background as well. But and that's what is this team for. Nairobi Jiu-Jitsu and the other coaches plan and set a camp with him and to see where are his weaknesses and also where is Samson's weaknesses and come up with a game plan and then to provide such a show. He got the win. We knew what he is lacking and we are preparing also for the next. Samson was just a station for him. It was not the destination. Inshallah, you'll see Osama in the World Championship.
Inshallah. All right. So, so when UFC 400 hits, we won't.
Soon,
we'll
soon
be there.
Come.
So when it comes, because I think they're now doing what, 3 something.
Definitely. Inshallah, he'll be the first.
It was 310 yesterday.
Yeah,
the first
310.
Kenyan will be signed in the UFC.
Well, so you can see all their hopes are up there, and we can see that yes, the sport is growing. But your practitioners of when it comes to mixed martial arts, the people who get into that cage and contest in it, they come from different backgrounds. You've got to have some knowledge of boxing, some knowledge of judo, some knowledge of kickboxing, and also their sport, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. And before we get specifically into that, protective gear, just take us through what you have. We've seen the gloves that they use in MMA. They look like more of a cyclist glove. But how big is a protective pad that's around the knuckles?
I wouldn't say it has a lot of padding on it, but it's about 9 ounces or...
No, it's 4 ounces.
4 ounces. So it's smaller than the boxing gloves and more effective. If you get punched with them, you get a good cut on your face. So I would say they're a bit tougher than the boxing gloves where they have a lot of padding in them and protection. But there's a big difference with the other gloves used in fights. If you look at the boxing gloves, they're a bit bigger. So even if you have your guard up, you can protect the punch with just your hands. But with the MMA gloves, they're smaller. So even blocking, if you're a boxing fighter, if you just block the punches here, it can pass through your guard and hit you. So there's a big difference in between the gloves.
Okay. Now, so, and now let's also look at the mouth guard. And when you're doing MMA, you do it barefoot. What's the most you can do with your feet? You know, the strapping that we see.
With your feet?
Yes. The legs, you
can kick with it?
No, I'm saying, the kind of, how much, the straps or the bandage.
Yeah, there is. It's not really allowed to have a lot of things on the foot, on the legs as well, for protection, but only mostly of the hands. Yeah, and there's a limit in each organization, whatever championship. There is a limit of thickness of what you need to cover or wear, or even taping.
Yes, and the other one that's standard is the mouth guard.
The mouth guard and groin guard.
And groin guard.
Yes.
All right, very well. So that means you're well taken care of. But here they are, and one of the arts they practice is Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Omer, let's start with you. You coach him, and you're doing a lot of this martial arts. Yes. Just take us through, the whole concept of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Just demystify it.
So I will pass this to him because he started the sport even before me. And so, he when it comes to titles and achievement in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, Osama can take the credit for that. So I'll pass the question for him, please.
Good. So I will say, speaking about Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, it's more of a self-defense martial arts. We have more of grappling, and then I know most people have been speaking about this, or you guys are just holding each other. I won't allow you to get closer to me and hold me. I will just punch you. But most men think fighting is just throwing punches and kicks, right? But you really have to know how to defend yourself in situations that you might get strangled from the back. Like we've seen recently in Nairobi, people getting choked and just the other person takes things from you, or the aggressor takes your phone, your wallet, anything that you have with you, and you can't really protect yourself.
Well, but in Nairobi, when they do that, they have a block of wood here on the arm, so what
exactly,
they just come and lift you up.
It doesn't really matter if they have a block on their forearm or they're just using their hands. What really matters is you staying calm and knowing how to get out of that situation. In a few minutes or seconds, we might demonstrate the techniques, but going back to explaining jiu-jitsu, it gives you the proper techniques to, defend yourself from such situations, especially with a 2 times bigger and much stronger opponent. So it's all about technique, leverage against brutal strength.
So, and leverage, technique, brutal strength. Just tell us, how you work around optimizing the strength that you have.
I will say
to make such that you can use it against an opponent.
I will say for me, compared to other fighters, I might look smaller, but skill-wise, I'm at some level that I can handle your strength, I can control you, I can pin you down, I can choke you to sleep. So it doesn't.
You want to try?
No, I've got another interview to do after this. So, but can you unchoke me up to wake?
No. It only takes a few seconds for you to come back into conscious. But thinking of it this way, I'm smaller than other guys, so I don't rely too much on my strength. I rely too much on my technique. As you can see from the fight, the guy was on top of me trying to punch me. I said calm, and it's something that we teach the kids every day. We emphasize, once either a bully goes on top of you, tries to punch you or tries to choke you, you can do such a technique which is effective to get the person off you and reverse the situation. So you go on top and you can control it. Either back off, run away, or just keep them in control and let the authority come, and then you can just leave them there.
And there are 2 sports to this, Usama, that I would like to mention. There's jiu-jitsu and jiu-jitsu.
So that's pretty much the same thing. There's Japanese jiu-jitsu and Brazilian jiu-jitsu. So with Brazilian jiu-jitsu, it's an advanced martial arts. There's more techniques, there's more into it than Japanese jiu-jitsu. I would say Japanese jiu-jitsu is the same as judo. If any one of you knows judo, heard about it, it's pretty much the same with Japanese jiu-jitsu. They focus more on the throws and controls, like side control, sitting on top of a person, mount. And then Brazilian jiu-jitsu came about to add on the Japanese jiu-jitsu or judo, give it more techniques, giving it more moves from that art. So takedowns, you get more transitions into the takedowns as well as controls, knowing how to finish, knowing how to escape from those positions.
Okay, now let's take us through, the introducing somebody into this kind of martial arts, Jamal, and what everyone needs to understand. We know it's a full contact sport, and such that when you're introducing, whether it's the children, the men, or the women to it, what's the introductory process for it? So
since it's a self-defense sport and very effective self-defense sport, and because a lot of people also think that jiu-jitsu, when they see a lot of jiu-jitsu videos, pictures, etc., think it's everything about the ground, but also about the standing. Jiu-jitsu also starts from standing. So jiu-jitsu has a standing techniques to take the person to the ground, to pin them, and then finish them from there. So they have 4 levels of attacks or defense you can do against an opponent. An introduction to jiu-jitsu, it's very technical, very nice, and very realistic. It's not like I don't want to talk about other sports, but some sports are not really realistic that you can use in a real life. But jiu-jitsu as a self-defense is one of the most highest, actually, individual sport that you can introduce to whether kids, adults, or whatever.
Okay. You mentioned about 4 levels. Just take us, just through that.
The 4 levels start from the standing most of the time, because everything starts with a strike or a grip, etc. So by then you need to take the person to the floor and also to have control on them, which is level number 3. 4 is to finish them, whether choke them or break a joint or break something on them. So and the choice is on you. It depends what you want to do with the person, But also it's a good defense mechanism. So because sometimes you are being attacked. So if you pass through and train for all through these 4 levels from the start to the end, you'll be able also to get out from whoever want to apply that on you as well. Yeah.
Now, Usama, let me come to this. And one of the things that, I know people say, some may have said it, is that if you're a boxer and they know that you go and punch somebody proper, you probably are considered to be a weapon. Yeah. The thing is making sure that the original culture of martial arts, in this case, a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, is ideally for competition and self-defense rather than for offensive purposes.
Yeah, so Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, I would say it's more of a self-defense art. With that, you can't just go around and start using it either to rob people, choke them to sleep, take things from them, or you go and start a fight in a bar, right? It's all about learning how to defend you and the people around you when anything comes up. Everyone thinks they know how to fight, they know how to throw punches. But when table turns, you start getting punched, that's when you know. I've focused more on jiu-jitsu. Going into the MMA fight, as you guys can see, I did my striking preparation, but as soon as I got punched, that's when I knew I need to put more effort into it. I started throwing bombs, hands all over the place, and I would say it was embarrassing a bit, but I'll try and work on it. Coming back to your question, for jiu-jitsu and other sports, it's so different. Jiu-jitsu is so humbling. A guy can train either, I don't want to speak bad about other sports, but a guy can train boxing, karate, Muay Thai, and they think they know how to fight, right? You have to be a complete fighter. You have to be humble. If you start going to pick fights, you might find someone who's better than you, right? You go punch someone, they go to sleep. They fall down, they hit their head, and they pass out. That's a case, right?
That's a police case.
For jiu-jitsu, we try and emphasize more on, just the self-defense ways, which is learning how to attack, protect yourself, and learning how to control the person even before you submit them. So I will say, let's say someone choked me, right, from the back. I took them down. The first thing is to control them. Talk to them. Hey, relax. I don't want to fight with you. They keep on being aggressive. You still control them. If they continue from the second stage, then you can either submit them, which will make them, just relaxed and say, look, you hold my hand. It's painful. I'm relaxed now. Now they obey you, right? Or you put them to sleep.
Watcha.
Exactly. Or you put them in a chokehold. You just hold them, squeeze, make them sleep, and then you just leave them there. It will take about 10 to 15 seconds for them to regain their conscious, and they won't know what happened. So they will just wake up and say, what happened? Everyone is just around them. They won't know what happened before they woke up. So we still emphasize more on just controlling the person and not submitting the person.
So you actually don't want to go to that level of submitting?
Exactly.
Yeah, but the person won't tap for you because it's a street fight. Of course, you would break something.
Yeah, they don't know how to tap.
Because because they're actually committing a crime, and here you are doing it for self-defense.
Exactly, exactly. The submission rules come when it comes to training. So when you train, okay, he put me in something, and then training, not having competition.
For us practitioners who've trained, when you get us in chokeholds or any kind of lock, we know how to escape in that situation. We know how to stay relaxed in those cases. But for someone who wasn't trained, you know, they'll get confused. Why are you holding my hand, right? I still have the second hand, I can punch you. But what they don't know is you might break their hand, either their elbow, either their shoulder or their wrist, which is bad for them. They start punching you, you get mad, you break it. And then if I reflect in other sports, as I said, you punch someone, they fall down, they hit their head, they pass out. It's a police case now.
They can actually, or they land on the wrong place.
Exactly.
You end up with a murder case.
For jiu-jitsu, you still have time to control them. It can be your brother, it can be your wife, it can be any of your relatives. It can be any of your relatives. You don't really want to punch them, right?
GBV, against violence. When you mention the wife.
Exactly.
So no fighting at home.
So you don't really want to, you know, punch them. You still want to control them while they still feel safe. So that's what jiu-jitsu is meant for, and that's what we teach at our schools, the Nairobi Jiu-Jitsu Academy, the Combat Brigade, and all other gyms around Kenya.
Okay. All right. Brian, my producer, let me talk to you. We can have Omar and Usama give us some little bit of demonstrations. All right. So, gentlemen, you can now come right here. And then you have told us that there are 4 levels to it.
Yes.
So we start with the stance.
Yep.
Yes.
So we're going to have a demonstration of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and the 2 gentlemen here, Omar Jamal and Usama Ali, are here. So let's start with the stance, and you can actually give a description of it, about how you stand, so people understand.
I will explain more of Jiu-Jitsu self-defense. Compared to other sports, we always have our hands up, and we're in a good fighting stance. If I'm right-handed, I keep my right leg back, my hands are up, I'm ready for a fight, right?
That's the orthodox stance?
The orthodox stance. If I switch to the southpaw, then I'm going to stand with my left leg back here. But in jiu-jitsu, it's so different. If we have our hands up, we're preparing for a fist fight. The other person knows, okay, it's a fist fight, right? For jiu-jitsu, we want to have our hands up to protect ourselves. Use the hands to, measure the distance in between us. If he moves forward, I just keep him away. So this is just for distance management and to try and control the person from getting even closer as I speak to them. Hey, relax, stop, do not move forward, stop. That's it. Let's say an aggressor is approaching us, right? So let's say he's the aggressor, I'm the guy who's defending myself. If normally what they punch is the over right hand, they're mad, they want to knock you out. They're going to throw the over right hand, go here. For someone who punches straight punches, then you know you're in trouble, you have to just walk out of that situation, right? If they start throwing straight punches, go. Then it's another case here. It means they're trained and they know what they're doing. So going back to the aggressor, he's going to punch, stop, punch, I clinch here. I want to go all the way and protect myself, and then going for a takedown.
Okay. So the sport is very close to, judo is the sport that's closest to jiu-jitsu.
Exactly. So what I did is called a hip throw, which is also taken from the judo arts. But now we go into more controls. After the punch, I go into what is called a safe clinch, and to stay safe here.
Yes.
He can choose this hand because I already grab it. It's on this side. So I'm already controlling his hand on this side. The other hand is already out of my way, which means I can safely execute my takedown and then control him. If he still keeps on being aggressive, I control him here and say, hey, stop. His hand is here for me to execute it. I can easily go for the finish.
Well, I can see Omer already is from the art itself, so you're doing something.
It's a really tight technique on the elbow.
Yes.
If you saw my fight,
it's a joint extension.
Exactly.
If you don't
the arm only turns this way, right?
Yes.
So we're trying to turn it the opposite way, so you can relate to this pain.
Okay.
On to the next technique. So if the guy gets closer and we're just arguing here, he pushes me, I break fall. I want to still stand up, but if I don't have my hands, he's going to punch me, right? So I'm going to manage the distance here and still come up. Hey, stop.
That was quite a risky move because he went straight for his knee.
Exactly.
Yes.
Now, instead, in standing, we use our hands to manage distance. When we're down, we can't use our hands because they're too far away from us, but the legs are closer to us, right? So if I go onto the knee, he has to step back. Then I can easily stand up and control the situation as well.
Well, lots of ways on how you do self-defense. And now coming into, competition mindset, just take us through how a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu competition would be.
So, sports Jiu-Jitsu is really different from self-defense. Even the stance is different. When we start the fight, we go shake hands, fist bump, combat. We go here. We don't really focus on the guy is going to punch us because there's no punches or kicks in sports Jiu-Jitsu.
Yes.
So Coach Omar here is going to execute a takedown. Go for any takedown. And then he's going to control me and find any ways to submit me here.
Yes.
Go for any submission.
So there it is, a chokehold.
Yep. What is called a rear naked choke. If you see the difference in any other sport where you get punched and kicked, this is so different. This is a matter of, it's like a chess game, human chess. He tries to get, I try going for his head. He tries to get the grip away from me. He goes for the clinch. He takes me down, controls me. Any way I move is either on his advantage or disadvantage. So he's trying to submit me as well as I'm trying to escape and get control and submit him as well.
Well, and so we can see that in simple terms, okay, when you mention wrestling to Kenyans, you think of WWE, but proper wrestling ideally is what Jiu-Jitsu is all about.
Exactly.
Yes. So wrestling is a part of Jiu-Jitsu as well, because you need to take someone to the ground to control them and then finish them.
Okay.
So wrestling is actually a part of Jiu-Jitsu. So Jiu-Jitsu is well-rounded, even if the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu has more of strikes as well. So you go striking, to take down, to control, to finish.
So the one part of it of Jiu-Jitsu that we haven't really seen is the striking. Maybe just a little bit of the demonstration of that.
So in striking, I would say, let's say, he's an aggressor. He pushes me.
It's a defense.
And then manages to go past my legs and I can't stand up, right? So he goes straight into this position. Let's stand this way.
Okay.
So he manages to go all the way up. Women can relate to this. They either get choked here, let's say, either in a raping situation or you're in an argument with your husband or boyfriend.
That's my GBV.
So
this is problems.
This is one of the case scenarios where we teach self-defense.
Yes.
So assuming you're in this position, he's going to either choke me. If not choking me, then he's punching me. So I still have to block my face. I can take a few hits, but this is what we do. Use my hip to bump them off.
Okay.
Keep the hands busy. I trap the hand. Thinking here, he still has the hand to punch me. When he goes to punch, I flip him over. And I can, as we said, it's all about controlling the other person, right? I can punch. I can do anything I want here. but I need to control him first, talk to him. Maybe he's my brother, we are in an argument, so I'm trying to just control him. Hey, relax, relax. He doesn't listen, slap, go back, right? Or I can still come up and keep a distance in between us. So that's the punching case scenario in Jiu-Jitsu.
All right. And we already saw that you can, some of the strikes that you're using with your feet, where you go for the knee.
Yes.
Exactly.
Well, very well. At least you've seen the demonstration. And so, gentlemen, you can take your seats back.
Thank you.
All right. So you've seen the demonstration from Omer, Jamal, and Usama Ali, two, practitioners of the mixed martial arts. And from what we have seen, and let's start with you, Usama, what has been the response to people who've taken up this sport? Because we've seen, the activity, how, they're spreading the gospel around.
So I will say we've been spreading the word around for people to come join us and grow the sport, as well as learn self-defense. But it's I would say in everywhere around the world, it's a fast-growing sport. But here in Kenya, people still think it's a gayish sport because of the positions you're in. They don't really relate to these situations. So we've had a lot of people speaking about, especially with my friends, they've been telling me, oh, you just hold each other down. I'm a boxer, I can't let you hold me, right? I will just keep a distance and punch you. But if you get pushed on the ground, or if you trip yourself even when fighting, you fall on the ground, what do you do next? Someone comes on top of you, punches you. When you're on your back, you don't have that much power to knock the other person out, right? So you have to know how to defend or get out of that situation as a fighter. I remember my first coach from Mombasa, Coach Imran, was a karate 4th degree, I think, at that time. He got taken down. Fourth dan karate black belt. So he got taken down, or in other words, he tripped while fighting with his one of his students, his best students, went to the ground and didn't know how to escape from that situation. And the student was just marking his face, making fun of him, thinking it's just fun. To him, it was mental, like, I'm a 4th degree black belt and I can't get out of this situation. What do I do next as a coach? So he went on YouTube. I was, I think, a white belt, a karate white belt at that time. He went onto YouTube, searched
so
how
you were
to get...
ideally getting introduced to karate at that point?
Yeah, I started doing karate back in 2012, when I was 12 years. So he went, did his research, and then started teaching jiu-jitsu through learning through YouTube. And then he transitioned us from karate students to jiu-jitsu students, and which we progressed really nicely all those years.
Well, what a story that you've got to tell. Jamal, let's now come into this and for how you help. I mean, how someone progresses up the ranks in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. I mean, for karate, everyone knows you start with the white, and the darker the belt gets, the better you become.
Right.
And when it gets black, they start giving you the
dance, right?
Yes,
the degrees.
The stripes on the black belt.
Right. So in Jiu-Jitsu, it's a bit different, but it takes also a longer time. It's more of about time, but not a lot of people will chase ranks, but people chase to learn more skills, and the ranking will come. A lot of people fell in love or become an addict actually to Jiu-Jitsu because it becomes the sport of a game. It becomes a game for them, not even a sport. So it feel addicted or love with the game. So it become like chess, as he mentioned earlier. You know, every time you learn something new, when you apply it, it works. Next time someone catch you in that, or when you escape, it's good. So you wanna do next. It's more of a transition submission games, which is beautiful. So the progression comes with time, and that's when your coach know you are ready for a promotion.
I would add something on that, on the belt progression. In other sports, most of the coaches nowadays, they sell the belts. So you find someone training karate, taekwondo for 2-3 years, and they have the black belt.
Yeah, but when you go to the Olympics, you will see dust.
which is really nice having the black belt on, but skill-wise, you start getting challenged either in the streets or in competitions.
Actually, it's in competitions where you get exposed.
Exactly. Yes. You see some of these guys being taken to big competitions, let's say like Grand Slams.
You're going for the
taekwondo.
You're going for the East African
World
Championship.
Qualifiers. Yes. And they get smashed because one, they rushed into the belts, and they didn't concentrate more on the techniques and trying to better their techniques. But in Jiu-Jitsu, it's so different. Like, you'll find someone refusing to get promoted to the next belt because they think they either spend 2 years on that, they think they're not even ready for it, for the challenge. I stayed a white belt for 6 years in Jiu-Jitsu for one reason. I didn't have a proper coach with me, a black belt, to teach me. Mostly it was through my previous karate coach. We did our own research on YouTube, studied the techniques, and then just came into class and trained them on ourselves. Or visiting black belts from USA, Sweden, all over the world, visiting us and training with us. That's how we progressed. But you'll find someone staying for more than 2 years in each belt. And each belt has 4 stripes. So the stripes give you that motivation. As soon as you get your first, you want to learn more and more and more. You get your second. When you get to your 4th, that's when you take a short time to transition into the next belt, which is the blue belt. I'm currently a 4th stripe purple belt. They recently wanted to give me my brown, and my professor, Coach Omer, Coach Julio, which is a black belt at Nairobi Jiu-Jitsu Academy, said, we need you to compete in a few more international Jiu-Jitsu competitions, so that you can enjoy the victories before you get to the next belt. So it's so different, like, from Jiu-Jitsu perspective and other sports.
Well, it's good that you've got the background of karate, because I'm sure you've seen that. And from the competitions, you know, you can't go compete at, for example, at the African Championships. And the belt that you are saying you're going to present is bought. You will get smacked in the first round. Omer, let's talk about the competitions available.
Here and locally.
Locally and also internationally, yes, for practitioners of Jiu-Jitsu.
Yes. There are many competitions available worldwide. But if you come 5 years ago and today, and to see the sport of Jiu-Jitsu in Kenya, it's completely different. Even 2 years ago and today, it's completely different. Now it's very, very well grown here, not only in Kenya, but in East African countries. And you have an elite athletes like Osama and others that actually can compete, represent themselves, the country, the family, whatever. There are a lot available, but a lot of athletes needs a lot of support. And that's a message really to the local people, to Kenyans. You know, I'm Ethiopian, but to your people. You have a lot of elites, incredible athletes. They need a lot of support. And that's the thing they mostly lack. Otherwise, they could have been world champions. And it's time to raise awareness about that, because it makes a lot of difference for them, for the athleticism team, for the country, for the whole nation as well, for the whole Africa as well. Yeah.
Well, so here we are. So, for example, local, if you were to organize a local competition, what would be the whole setup for you? Looking at the numbers that you have and how you'd categorize them.
So it will be held with the same rules as international rules, which we already did and we're still doing. There is no issues with it. But athletes need to improve and go worldwide, because that's where the more prizes come. The championship comes. You know, it's different when you're a local champion and world champion. So it's already there, but it's just time for us to come together as a community and support the athletes to showcase worldwide.
Professional, I mean everyone, combat sports now are going professional. For a long time, you know, there would be amateur, there are those who do it, but right now, just give us the opportunities for pro fighters.
So I would say I didn't go through the amateur fights, MMA fights, amateur. I went directly into my professional debut on November 23rd. According to me, speaking about the federations or the promoters doing these fights, they need to really think of the fighters and not themselves. So, assuming they were going to make more money into the fight with people buying tickets, streaming, and everything, as much as they want to, you know, take advantage of the fighters, but they really need to give them what they need to progress forward. We have more opportunities coming up, but you'll find some of these promoters picking up their own people who aren't better enough than other people from other gyms. Just because they know this guy, they give him the opportunity to go fight in South Africa, in Nigeria, those federations, AKO. But the guys who are going there, they're not good enough, so they get smashed. Like some of the fighters here in Kenya, I won't mention names, but they got a chance to represent, and they're not good enough, of which it's their opportunity. We don't just go into someone's opportunity and crush it, right? We let them go, have the experience, but when they come back, that's when they start looking for us. Like, you guys train jiu-jitsu. It's an advantage in mixed martial arts. So that's when they want to come and train with us. But before they fight, we're like, bro, you have a fight, come join us and we'll give you tips on the fight. But they don't want, because they think they're better off. And the promoters as well, they don't support some of these fighters. So you find yourself just training, there's no fights. Even going into the fight, there's no proper support going into the fight. Speaking of fight camps, speaking of the accommodation and transportation, for this fight...
And the nutrition.
And nutrition.
Exactly. For this fight, imagine the promoters sent, I'm not trying to speak bad about anyone, but it's something we need to improve. The promoters sent the tickets a night before the day we're supposed to travel.
That's the air tickets?
No.
The bus?
Imagine we went with the bus. So
to Kampala?
24,
that's a 15,
16 hours.
Yeah, 15, 16 hours.
In a bus, I was on a weight cut period, so I couldn't eat as much. I was just, biting on snacks, sipping on water. I couldn't eat that much. And then the next day, they kept us for another 6 hours to go on the weighing in. The guy didn't make weight, I made weight. They didn't do anything about it. And then even...
so it was more of a catch weight fight?
Exactly, yeah. And it's not a proper programming of these fights and taking care of the fighters, either going there a week before the fight to just get used to the conditions there, the weather there, just the environment. You get relaxed before the fight, you get to experience everything. Going into the fight, you getting confident and comfortable. This is something they need to work on. Otherwise, we won't get a lot of fighters progressing into either the UFCs or these big events because of such situations.
All right. So now preparing other three, because you worked, with him preparing.
Yes.
Because it was a mixed martial arts event, an MMA event in Uganda. Just tell us the mindset, because here you are, jiu-jitsu practitioners, but also you've got to make sure that he understands that a lot of kicking and punching is going to come.
The striking game of it. So we knew that his opponent is a striker, and we knew who his opponent would always want to strike, because that's his power. And we also knew that Osama also is a good grappler, and mostly, like almost 70% of the time, the grappler that mostly win in an MMA contest, because any fight most of the time goes to the ground. But our work was like how to take that person to the ground, and we worked on that. We worked also on his striking. He is no different than any other MMA fighter. We work on his striking as well.
His karate background helps, yeah?
His background showed something. It saved him, But the prep are not easy. It's not really easy. Forget about what his physique, but his mindset as a first pro fight. As a traveling, and I just want to say, because he just mentioned about the transportation, etc. But one day everything will pay off, and it will become a beautiful story for him to mention to the next generation. But yeah, it's a hard core. MMA fighters are not easy trained. Like, they train very hard. They train a lot of sports. They're not only one sport. You train a lot of sport, plus whether your strength and conditioning, plus you need the recovery times. Plus, you need to take care of your diet. So it's a lot of things. And that's why when I talk about sport, it's a lot of things, actually, to make such a successful athlete.
Actually, because you've mentioned recovery, because when I look at mixed martial arts, for example, when you do, for example, if you're a professional boxer and you get a knockout, they'll come and do a medical assessment and tell you you're not even going to spar for a month.
Yes.
The most you can do is probably run, jog, do weights.
Right.
But they tell you no. How do you assess the recovery times for him, for example, when he leaves a competition?
Yes.
Because MMA, unlike boxing, in boxing, when you get punched, you go down.
They give you.
They don't.
They don't touch you.
They don't touch you.
But
in MMA, when you go down, is when now they come down.
So I tell you an interesting fact. There are a lot of people die in boxing more than MMA. Actually, in football more than MMA. What I'm trying to say, MMA is more safer when it comes to headshots, because you're not always targeting the head. But when it comes to boxing, you always target is how to knock out someone. So a lot of damage happened to the head. So MMA it's a bit safer, but it's not safe. It's a bit safer. A lot of injuries happen, but the fighter himself, he knows what he got injured with. Most of the time the next day, because the first day he'll be like the adrenaline, he's not feeling anything yet, etc. But we noticed that, and definitely a week of recovery time before we come back to training has to happen if there is no injury. If there is an injury, it's something else. But what I meant by recovery is during the fight camp, during his normal training time, he needs to have recovery. He needs to have, like, for example, have a physiotherapy sessions to work on the injuries that happened to him, the tightness, etc., and so on. Not only that, what happened after the fight.
That and making sure that that they are always in shape, and when you can tell somebody, given the the full contact nature of the sport.
Yes.
When you tell somebody now, you go easy on competition. Otherwise, you can't keep breaking a rib every 3 months.
Right. Yeah. Well, I would say go easy, but go smart. When it's a competition, when it's inside the cage, that's it. It's time to do your best to take the win, to show a proper case, good performance. So to fight smart, train hard, train smart, fight hard, fight smart, I would say.
Well, very well. Now, Usama, you're going for after one fight, you've been given a title shot. MMA is quite interesting. I think in boxing, you'd have to go about, what, 10, 15 fights before, before you even get, a national or regional title.
Right.
What's the option for you?
I would say for the future plans, it's to work on my striking stance. In this next coming weekend, on Saturday the 14th, I'll be having a Muay Thai fight at Adams Arcade, hosted by the Coliseum gym. So it will be a good startup challenge for me to work on my striking, as I'm working with Coach Omar, training Muay Thai every day, working on the pad work, combinations and everything. But going forward, I would love to have more of striking competitions rather than just rushing into the MMA pro fights or big events. This means gaining all the experiences I need on my way to the top. So if I rush the progress, then my record will be maybe going one. Right now I'm 1-0, right?
Yes.
But going up, if I rush the progress, then I'll either be at 1-10, losing every time because I'm rushing into the top category. I really want to focus on these small fights, either locally, East Africa, or also international. But the goal is to have good matchups, to get the experience and learn through every situation. It's not just about the winning, it's about how you win. You go in smart, as coach says. You go in with a proper strategy. You take some time off. So most of these pro fighters do at least 4 fights a year, or even 2. So they have so much time to recover and so much time to train on their weaknesses and strength, and that's what I'm really planning going forward.
All right. Now, Omar and Usama, when you came here, one of the things that you've said is about grappling, and the sport is about self-defense. And you mentioned about what in Kenya we call ngeta.
Yeah.
Which is where they give you the half Nelson. You know, they lift you up.
He knows about the half Nelson.
Yeah, so, that's actually a proper English name for it.
Yeah.
So, they give you the half Nelson, and what happens next?
So, if we're going to...
Brian, can we see how you defend yourself from ngeta, properly known as the half Nelson? All right. So, yeah.
If we're going to...
Let them come and do a demonstration, Brian. It's okay? Okay. So, yeah, been told by Brian, you can come in. Just give us a self-defense, Coach, you can come in. So who's going to be...
Yeah.
Mwizi ni nani hapa?
Huh?
Nani Mwizi?
I thought Brian himself is coming. When you said Brian, I thought, where is he?
No. Brian is upstairs. He's my director. So just do the half... Yeah. That is now the half Nelson.
So,
it's
called a neck choke. I will show you the half Nelson after.
Switch hands. So, first things first, if this guy is holding my neck, he's the aggressor now, right?
Yes.
He's the mwizi, as we said. I have to really understand what's going on through my neck, right? He's choking the veins. I can't really... there's no much blood flow or circulation of... there you go. So if he squeezes on my neck, I need to be able to breathe first. I'm going to hold his hand, tuck my fingers, and put my chin inside the hand, right? You feel the voice change.
Yes.
If he's squeezing, I can't really speak out nicely. So I need to get some space, pull his elbow down, lower my hip, lift him up, and then just stand there.
Good.
So if he tries to hold on, he's either going to go head first or he has to let go and pause his hand, right?
Yes.
So going back again, if he holds me and he keeps squeezing, he knows what's coming next. He's going to either pause his hand, so he has to let go. And Right now I'm going slowly, but if I go in full speed, I don't want to go full speed because of the ground.
I still need to coach him.
So it might be too hard for him, and he'll fall on his back, and I can still submit his hand. So once again, tuck my hand, here, tuck my chin, lower my base, lift him up, turn, take him down. From here, I can control him, I can punch him, and I can submit him.
Well, there you go now. Coach, the half Nelson.
The half Nelson. So the half Nelson is a wrestling move.
Yes.
We call it the half Nelson. Mostly happen from the back. So half Nelson, most of the time.
Yes.
This we call it the half Nelson. And this we call it full Nelson. Mostly we use half Nelson in wrestling when they are most of the time in the ground, just to flip them.
Yes.
Just the other way, just like so, and have a control of them. So that's why we call it the half Nelson.
All right. So there's a half and the full, very serious choke moves.
Thank you
so much.
Thank you. Well, so there you've had it, and you can see the demonstration and everything. And the whole thing is, from what you've seen, then get the situation, is that it comes with the training. So it doesn't, so like you said, it doesn't matter how fast they are.
Exactly.
Because, you know, how to get the moment they lift you up.
Yes.
It's already tight, huh?
They lift you up, they've got a plank of wood here, and they're lifting you up by the time you're saying...
But a lot of people are not trained, and when they be in that position, they never be in that position, it's a panic mode. And then they start giving it up. But if you're really trained for it, you will not have that panic mode, and you will have the muscle memory to react upon you. If that makes sense.
Well, you can see that he's actually a coach and he's really into sports. These are things that I always hear when I'm staying with athletics coaches and all that. They mention things like muscle memory, things like that.
Small details.
Small details. So thank you very much, Omer Jamal.
Yes.
Yeah, he's from Ethiopia. So today, having some great one, if it was athletics, would not be smiling like this. But I will simply say, Amaseglano.
Amaseglano, thank you very much.
That's how you say thank you in Amharic. And for Usama Ali, thank you very much for being with us this morning. And
thank you for hosting us.
Thank you for being here. Thank you for all the fun and all the, the demonstration of the techniques that we've seen in mixed martial arts, and all the best in your future fights.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. We take our first break now. We'll be coming back with some more sporting highlights from the FKF Premier League matches played over the weekend. Our sign language interpreter this hour has been Lucy Waura.
Yasir ashakufa.
Hayuko nyanya, hayuko.
Ati nini?
Hivi kumbe mtu weza kulala ukiamka ukifungua macho ukuta umekufa?
Ndio Mungu kimwangalia ana upungufu wote wa kiafya huyo. Upungufu si lazima wa afya, unaweza pungukiwa hata akili.
Unasemaje?
Nani nakwambia kwa huko ndani ya nyumba yangu kuna kazi ukija utaajiriwa?
Ninakuona tangu asubuhi umeamka hauna raha. Kwani kuna shida yote?
Nahisi kama kuna kitu kibaya kitafanyika.
Sasa mbona wa mzigo mwanamume wewe ubebeki?
Mimi nimekuwa mzigo.
Chumba chake kimejaa harufu ya kifo.
Una chafua. Chapati iko lakini chapati yetu ni safi.
Are you with us?
I'm with us.
Ngabla mbinu gugu umetokea moto. Moto nini kazi toma?
Mimi dem.
Wewe ni tem.
Mimi sina nguvu.
Ongea kwa sauti ya chini.
All rais, bwana simameni bwana.
Siende chini, tabandi chu, nimebagea hapa.
Mimi ni wakili mkubwa sana.
Hicho maana nataka tujuane.
Hii ni ile moto ile nyongo last week, iweka kando.
Oh,
Mugaka amefungwa?
Sio mugaka. Mama kaya yeye atanyongwa.
I never heard the music so sweet. I repeat.
Wagwan, me brethren, big things are going. Remember, each and every Monday we have to shell down the place with nothing but the best of smooth way the vibes in your favorite station. You know these things, man.
Kukata maji ni sheria. Warukera inama.
Alafu kila Tuesday kata simu
super side, giving you Kenyan music from the 254.
And of course, you can spice up your Wednesday by enjoying blazing hot hip-hop and R&B jams.
We don't got no label. She say she want bottles.
Vibes and vibes as we go all across Africa, Kenya, Nigeria, Ghana, all the way to Tanzania to give you nothing but the best on Afro Thursday. Make sure you make a date with us each and every single Friday with me, DJ_Liza Diva,
DJ Colda,
and me, Wanjiko. This is Club One Extra.
Unanifanya nisikie kunyongwa Hadija ai Unani especially ukisonga.
Thank you for joining us on Healthy Living. Stay connected to Voice of America at voanews.com. A look at your kidneys and how they impact your health. And an expert discusses chronic kidney disease and how to protect yourself. And Ivorian psychologist Noor Bakayoko shares some insights on bullying and what can be done.
It's important to avoid major events or major health crises.
How do you know if your cough is due to a serious condition? We'll have some answers. Stay well
and strive to make every day a healthy day.
And welcome back to Sports Check on this Monday morning. It is the 9th day of December 2024. Well, we're supposed to have a conversation about whitewater rafting in just a short while. I've just confirmed that our guests will be coming here. But before that, let's take a look at the FKF Premier League highlight from the weekend. Shabana FC played against Talanta. Posta Rangers played against Kariobangi Sharks, while Bidco United did fry Gor Mahia. So let's get the highlights of those three matches.
Anaipata shambuliaji Eric Otieno, anaipiga pass kumtafuta pembeni Emmanuel Osoro. Sasa Emmanuel Osoro anayeonja asali, haachi kuchovya mapema. Emmanuel Osoro, mtoto wa nyumbani, anawaadhibu Shabana Tore Bobe. Alipoteza pia tokea mita Eric Otieno, pasi yake nzuri, pass split defense ile. Emmanuel Osoro akatulia kabisa, alikuwa na muda wote wa kujitengeneza. TJM alijaribu, lakini alipoipiga imekwenda mbali. Zungumzia Brian Marvin. Brian Misira Migiro M10 ililetwa na Ezekiel Dalphin Naburi, wakajaribu kuondoa, lakini alipiga uzuri na mguu wake wa kushoto. Huyu sasa ndiyo Messi mwenyewe, M10 Brian Misira Migiro ana level scoreboard. Hawajakaa. Matthew Tegisi, pasi imefika M10 sasa. Brian Misira Migiro M10. Apa nini huyu? Hii Shabana ya mwaka huu sio Shabana ya kawaida, ni Shabana tofauti kabisa. Na Matthew Tegisi, Kevin Taiwali wajaza, alikuwa onside, yes, lakini akacheza na nyavu zile. Urafiki mkubwa kati yake Brian Misira Migiro na nyavu ni urafiki usiotenganishwa. Goli la pili hii leo, amemaliza na dance huko, upende usipende.
Amecheza ndani ya Sinda United akiwa anatafuta goli lake la kwanza. Ndiye mfungaji bora wa Posta msimu uliopita. Victor Ngume Brasho, Stephen Bwire chini kwa chini, Bwire amekosa. Stephen Bwire Mbulere kwa medhubutu kwa chile fataki ya chini kwa chini. Chapanya buku. baada ya kulazimishiwa Tanova ile. Jacob Otieno Alvaro alimtafuta Victor Ngume Brasho, lakini shuti lake Stephen Bwire Bulere likatoka tu sentimita chache tu kutoka lango lake, akiwa na mwenzake. Leta huku Paul America Jawa, Paul Jawa rasmi sasa anafungua akaunti yake ndani ya Kariobangi Sharks. Paul America Jawa sema kuwa siangalii, lakini tayari nimemtungua Bran Bixent Otieno. Ya timu ya taifa Ufaransa alikuwa ni Bixente Lizarazu, mlinzi wa kushoto. Huyu ni Bixente Lazarazu. Ilikuwa ni back pass yake afande Kevin Ouma, kenda juu Eric Juma, lakini mpira wa pili ukawa wake Paul America Jawa. Kamla Tobo Bixente Otieno, na baada hapa akasema kwa mnaniona mimi siwaoni. Pata picha ile Posta Rangers mbele ya Kariobangi Sharks. Isaac Otieno wa Sambo, Patrick Ngonyi, nafasi na mja Patrick Ngonyi, Ngonyi amecheza Bixente Otieno, amepoteza nafasi Patrick Ngonyi yule. Alitime run yake ubora, akamchenga Kevin Ouma, kamua kupiga mwenyewe tu Patrick Ngonyi. Patrick Ngonyi tumia gula kila kushoto, akafanya save. Kalama mejaza ndani huku kumtafuta Eric Michu Michibu, lakini umetoka sema kuwa ni penalty. Mwamuzi anaamuru kuwa ni penalty. Alicheza ndivyo sivyo Alphonse Omija, ndivyo sivyo. Je, alimpiga mtama ama alishinda mpira Alphonse Omija? Lakini ametafsiri kuwa ni penalti ya moja kwa Eric Michu Michubu. Eric Michu ilete hiyo, ilete hiyo. Anakalia kigoda chake, anasema mimi ndio Eric Michu Michubu, kwa pause ya picha kumbukumbu, pause ya picha ya Facebook, picha ya WhatsApp ile, lakini ni Eric Michu Michubu Chakos kule, lakini ilikuwa ni mguso kutoka kwake Alphonse Omija kwenda kumchezea ndivyo sivyo Eric Michu Michubu. Alikwenda maeneo ya Machakos wakati mpira unajaa maeneo ya Thika Makongeni kule. Eric Michu Michubu anazijua nyavu hizi za Machakos, lakini baada hapo akakalia kigoda chake akisema kuwa mimi ndio mzee, mimi ndio Odhiambo double R. Analeta ndani huko Austin Odhiambo, ametoka Mavinjeritu, bado hatari kuleo Silisili Sylvester Silowino amepaisha kule juu, ililetwa ndani uzuri naye Austin double R Odhiambo, lakini ikampata Sylvester Wino Hahono. Mpira ukapaa juu ya lango pale, watasawazisha Kogalo. Double R Austin Odhiambo pembeni kule, Gidio Bendeka Mololia Batoto Bakongo, anza naye Musa Masika Wanyama, jaza ndani huko na kataa Mavina Muka Ochieng. Roni Onyango tena Musa Masika Wanyama, chini kwa chini, double R Austin Odhiambo amepaisha juu. Siku ya nyani kufa miti yote uteleza, amegeuka. Ilikuwa ni pasi yake Musa Masika Wanyama Chove, akageuka uzuri. Austin Odhiambo double R MVP.
The highlights of 3 of the matches played in the FKF Premier League over the weekend. And you can see, well, Gor Mahia losing that. They had gained some momentum, but they've been slowed down. So the story now is about 3 clubs, Tusker, Bandari and KCB, who are now competing, for staying top in the FKF Premier League. So right now as we just wait for two of our guests. There is William Kinothia and Richard Ombeba from the Rafting Federation of Kenya. They've just apologized and said, hey, we're a little bit stuck up in traffic. Why don't we get the story of Patrick Macau, who is a former world record holder in the men's marathon. That's an episode of The Ace coming up next.
The Berlin Marathon is known for its record-breaking feats, as evidenced from 1998 with Kenyans at the forefront. In 2011, Patrick Macau Musyoki ensured he put his name on that Hall of Fame when he reclaimed the world marathon record that was being held by Haile Gebrselassie of Ethiopia, who had smashed his arch rivals Paul Tegra's 2003 record.
Niliweza kufanya mazoezi nikijua kwamba mazoezi yangu na target kukimbia world record ambayo hiyo wakati ilikuwa imeshikiliwa na Gabriel Selassie. Ni mkimbiaji hodari pia kutoka Ethiopia na ambaye alikuwa ameshikilia kwa miaka 8. Kwa hivyo haikuwa jambo rahisi sana kwangu kuprepare, sababu nilikuwa nileta wanariadha pamoja, wale walikuwa wananisaidia, na hiyo wakati tulikuwa grupu ya wathiliti wengi sana, grupu kubwa sana. Na kutoka hapo tukaingiana na wale managers ambao wanajua mambo ya programming, programs, kuchora programs ambazo tunaweza kuwa tunazifuatilia.
Macau had dreamt of that day when he ventured into the road races.
Wakati wa competition, wakati ulipofika, niliweza kwenda na wanariadha wengine ambao walienda kunisaidia kufanya pacing. Nikumbuka mmoja anaitwa Isaac Masharia ambaye alikuwa pacemaker wangu, ambaye alikuwa ananisaidia kukimbia huko Berlin. Mwingine alikuwa anaitwa Peter Kirui ambaye pia alikuwa mwanariadha, alikuwa amebobea sana kwa mbio za barabara, na mwingine ni Kamoror ambaye pia aliweza kuwa kushiriki kwa kunifanyia pace setting. Na hapo kwa timu ya Kenya tukakuwa timu iko strong, sababu tulikuwa na wanariadha wale wazuri kwa huo wakati.
He stopped the clock at 2 hours 03 minutes and 38 seconds to beat the legendary Ethiopia's record by 21 seconds.
Na huo wakati ulifika, mbio ikaweza kuanza na tukaendelea vizuri. Tuliweza kuanza vizuri na tukaendelea tukipandisha pace. Mwishowe tukaweza kundrop wale wengine, tukabaki sisi wa Kenya, na wakanisukuma, wakanisaidia mpaka nikafunja rekodi.
It was such a joyous moment for him as he successfully defended his title to be awarded the Sawyer Personality of the Year award.
Saa zingine vitu zingine zinakujanga, sababu hata saa zingine ufikiriangi what you are doing, but wakati uko na furaha nyingi unajisi as if you have become a hero, not only in Kenya but in the whole world. And as I believe that time TV zote zinaandika breaking news because of just someone like me. I've broke the world record. Actually, it was something which myself I felt very happy. Yeah, that's why I ran with the flag all over. And sana ukiweza kukimbia na ufunje rekodi, it's like nguvu ingine mpya inakukujianga, kwa hivyo usikiangi umechoka. Yeah.
London did not favor him, unlike the Berlin course, which he conquered, as well as the 10-kilometer and 25-kilometer road races in a personal best of 27 minutes, 27 seconds, and 1 hour, 13 minutes, and 18 seconds, respectively, not forgetting the 30-kilometer race in 1 hour, 27 minutes, and 38 seconds.
Mimi mwenyewe kwa zile mbio zingine niweza kukimbia Fukuoka Marathon mara 3, nikaanza kushinda. Nikakimbia Frankfurt Marathon mara 2, nikaanza kushinda. Nikaanza kukimbia London Marathon ambayo nilianza kushiriki mara 1, na nikaanza kukuja namba 3. Na hiyo mbio ya London kukimbia nilikuwa na changamoto sana, sababu nilikuwa na injury ambayo iliweza kunisumbua kwa muda mwingi sana, na ambaye pia ndio iliniweza kuniwezesha ama kunifanya nifanye early retirement. Kwa hivyo London Marathon ilikuwa na changamoto sana, lakini naomba Mungu niliweza kuanza na nikang'ang'ana nikaweza kumaliza nikiwa namba 3.
It also made his name from his marathon debut in Rotterdam, which he won in 2010 with a time of 2 hours, 04 minutes and 48 seconds to be named the Association of International Marathon and Distance Races World Athlete of the Year.
Niliweza kuingia mbio za marathon mwaka wa 2009 ambayo ni mbio yangu ya kwanza kukimbia ilikuwa Rotterdam Marathon, ambaye mbio yangu ya kwanza nilikuwa nimeprepare vizuri, lakini performance haikuingiana vile mimi mwenyewe nilikuwa natarajia, kwa sababu nilikuwa nienda nishinde hiyo mbio. Lakini being the debut ama mbio yangu ya kwanza kukimbia marathon, niliweza kukimbia muda bora sana, masaa 2 na dakika 6, ambayo pia kwa huo muda iliorodheshwa kwa ule muda mzuri ambao umeweza kukimbiliwa na mwanariadha wa kwanza duniani wakati naanza mbio zangu, ama ile tunaitanga debut kwa marathon. Nikikumbuka wenye nilikuwa nakimbia na wao walikuwa pia wamebombea sana hiyo wakati kwa marathon. Kuna mmoja alikuwa anaitwa Duncan Kibet na mwingine alikuwa anaitwa Kwambai. By then wao walikuwa wamefuma sana kwa mbio za marathon. Kwa hivyo mimi nilikuwa nakimbia na mangwini na waliweza kunichallenge sana, but mwishowe nikaweza kukimbia na nikaweza kuingia namba 4, ambaye mwishowe niliridhika na nikarudi tena kwa mazoezi nikijua ya kwamba niko na kazi nyingi sana ambayo iko mbele yangu napaswa nifanye ndiposa niweze kushinda. Na nikaweza kurudi tena na nikaanza mazoezi tena na nikatrain, na huo mwaka ulikuwa unafuatilia nikarudi Rotterdam Marathon tena na nikaanza kwenda nikashinda.
Macau was also a regular in the Ras Al Khaimah Half Marathon, which he won in 2009 with a second fastest time ever of 58 minutes and 52 seconds in his title defense after losing in 2007 to the late Samuel Wanjiru, who won the race in a record time of 58 minutes and 53 seconds.
Ya kwanza mimi mwenyewe kabla niingie marathon nilikuwa nakimbia mbio za barabara ambazo tunazitanga road races, ambazo zinahusu kutoka kilomita 5, 10, 21 na 25. Kwa wakati wangu nilibobea sana, tukijua kwamba huo wakati kukimbia muda bora kama 58 minutes ilikuwa very rare, ama ni muda ambao haungeweza kuonekana. Na nilikuwa nakimbia sana na marehemu kama Wanjiru. Nakumbuka siku moja tukikimbia na yeye huko Rak Marathon, ni nje ya Dubai. Hiyo ni mwaka wa 2007, 2008 na 2009. Na nikisema ya kwamba kwa huo wakati wetu kukimbia muda wa 58 kwa half marathon ilikuanga rare sana, ama ni muda ambao ungeweza kupatikana. Nikijua kwamba huo wakati nilikuwa namba 2 kwa dunia, kama marehemu kama Wanjiru akiwa ameongoza. Kwa hivyo ni mbio mimi mwenyewe najifunianga sana, na naweza sema ndizo ziliweza kunisharpen mpaka nikaanza kuwa mzuri sana kwa marathon.
The former world marathon record holder, whose record was smashed by Wilson Kipsang, credits his predecessors for giving him the energy to follow his ambitions.
Kuna wale ma legends walikuwa wanakimbia kwa hiyo area. Mmoja alikuwa anaitwa Cosmas Ndeti, ambaye tunajifunianga sana kwake. Ameweza kushinda Boston Marathon mara 3, na Njime Moindi ambaye pia alikuwa amebombea kwa huo wakati, na mwingine alikuwa anaitwa Patrick Yevuti, na yeye alikuwa anakimbia mbio za cross country sana. Kwa hivyo waliniweza kunimotivate sana, na kutoka hapo mimi mwenyewe nilikuwa nawasikia kwa radio, kwa TV, na ikanibidi mimi mwenyewe niwatafute, na niliweza kuwapata, na akaweza kuwa wananisaidia na mwongozo kila wakati kwenda ule wakati mwingine, na pia wananisaidia na facilities za kukimbia.
He had started his career in the long distance track races before he switched the course.
Nilisoma shule moja inaitwa Onyuani Primary School, ambapo ni shule ilikuwa kama kilomita 7 hivi kutoka nyumbani mahali nilikuwa natoka. Kwa hivyo nilikuwa natoka nyumbani asubuhi na narudi jioni, na juu ya zile challenges zilikuwa pale, ilinibidi saa zote nikuwe naenda nikikimbia. Tukikumbuka ya kwamba shule za zamani vile zilikuanga, hapo naweza sema ndio kipawa yangu ya kukimbia ilianzanga. Nikiwa primary school kuna mashindano ilikuwa ya mashule, na nilikuwa naweza kukimbia na nilikuwa na kimbiana naweza kushinda wale wengine. Tukisema kama tukitoka zono, tukienda division, district, ilikuwa na kuja tu number 1.
And it paid off as he put his name among the greats, although he missed out on the Olympic Games when he thought he had done enough to earn his ticket.
Yani, hiyo mwaka was the best. Not only in Kenya but in the whole world. Yeah. But mimi at the end of the day sijui zile strategies wao walituweza kutumia, nikaweza kuwa siku kwa hiyo timu ya Olympics. Kwa hivyo mimi mwenyewe iliniuma, but nothing I could do. But nowadays, because I'm so vocal, nikiona mambo kama haya yakitokezea, siku hizi mimi huwa naongea.
Nevertheless, he still represented Kenya in the IAAF World Road Running Championship and the World Half Marathon, where he earned 2 silvers and 2 team gold medals.
Mimi mwenyewe nimeweza kurepresent country yetu kwa mbio za world road race, ambazo sana zinakuanga kilomita 20 ama 21. Nimeweza kushiriki kwa hizo mbio mara 3 na nikaweza kuwa na kuja namba 2. Na moja nilikuweza kuja namba 1 na hizo zingine nikakuwa namba 2.
An injury forced him into retirement and he fully ventured into farming and real estate.
Nikizungumza kidogo na ambayo ni jambo la muhimu sana pia nataka nizungumzie, na wakimbiaji wajuangio, kama wewe ni mwanariadha na unaendelea na mazoezi na unaenda kwa competition, kuna kitu moja inaitangwa injury ambayo ni kitu huwezi avoid. Na kwa mfano kama hauko aware kama unaweza patwa na injury, kuna wakati inaweza kukupata na upate frustrations nyingi sana, sababu inakuja kuona mipango zako ulikuwa umepangia hivi na injury ndio hii imekukumba. Kwa hivyo shape inateremka chini, na hapo hata usipoangalia manager yeye mwenyewe atakuachilia, na akikuachilia utaumia zaidi. I'm also a farmer. Mimi huwa nafanya mambo ya ukulima, huwa nakuza ng'ombe, mbuzi, kondoo, na pia huwa nalima mahindi na maharagwe, huwa nalima ngwashi na huwa nalima mandizi. Kwa hiyo mambo yote, na pia huwa nafanya mambo ya real estate. Na kwa hii kazi yote mimi huwa naifanya, ni mambo ya kugenerate kazi. Tukijua kwamba huko nyumbani watu ni wengi sana ambao wanahitaji mapato, lakini kama sisi wenyewe Mungu anaweza kutusaidia kama tutengeneze ama tucreate hiyo kazi, nani atawaemploy.
But at least he left with top honors, being recognized by AMS internationally and Berlin, where they were recently honored. The SOY Awards in Kenya and a state commendation as well, which goes a long way in opening other doors.
Actually, mwaka wa 2022 nilikuwa one of the chosen heroes to be recognized by the government, and nikaweza pewa HSCC honor of state commendations, of which hiyo na kuanga recognition kubwa, na huwa inamaanisha nimekuwa sasa kwa family ya wale heroes wenye wameweza kurecogniziwa na serikali. Na ili kesi nikikuwa na shida sana ama nikikumbwa na shida, inamaanishanga serikali wanaweza kuingililia pale, na waweza kuchukulia maisha yangu mahali yako, na waweza kunisaidia kuendelea na mbele.
He attributes all these to hard work and a lot of sacrifice, and advises all to avoid shortcuts in life as they have dire consequences.
Kitu ya kwanza na waadvise mambo ya programming. Kuwa na program nzuri na ambayo iko na ile set time, ama kuna ile muda imewekwa kwa hiyo program, sababu huwezi niambia unakuja kuweka ile tunaitanga crashing program. Kwa sports hakunanga crashing program, maybe kwa education it can work, but when we come on sports hakunanga crashing program. Lazima ile program yenyewe umeseta ama kocha yako amekusetia, lazima ikuwe na muda, na hiyo muda inapaswa kuwa ile muda inafaa. Athletes wetu hawachane na stereotyping. Stereotyping ni ile mambo, kuna mambo wanaongeleleanga huko behind the doors. Wanasema wanasaidia, wanasema huyu kocha anakuambia ukitaka kukimbia vizuri lazima ufanye hivi, ukitaka kukimbia vizuri lazima ufanye hivi. Hata mimi ndio nilisaidia mtu fulani akaweza kukimbia vizuri na nini na nini. Hata wao wakimbiaji wanasemezana wenyewe vitu kama hizo. Hizo ndio tunataka stereotyping. Na unakuja kupata hata mtu mwenye alikuwa innocent ameingishwa wapi? Ameingishwa hapo.
Macau, however, acknowledges that we live in a society which is very demanding and can take a toll on the vulnerable and drive them to desperate measures, adding that it can be addressed to avoid mental health issues which are cropping up.
Unakuja kupata nao wale wa marafiki, kuna zile expectations ama family, kuna yale matarajio wao wenyewe wanatarajia wafanyiwe juu huyu mwanariadha ameweza kukimbia kwa kiwango cha mataifa, na mwisho usipowafanyia hivyo ni kama unakuwa adui. Na wakati sasa unakuja kuretire, unakuwa unawachiliwa, unakuwa sasa unakaa maisha yako, hakuna mtu anakwanzani na wewe, unawachiliwa. Ndiposa unaona wanariadha wetu wanakufa tu na depression.
He never shies away from mentoring others so they don't fall prey to worldly pleasures, and is also coaching others to follow in his footsteps, which is bearing fruit.
Mimi huwa na coach wanariadha. Tuko na management moja ambayo huwa inasaidia wanariadha. Wakiweza kukimbia vizuri, tunawapeleka nchi za Europe ama America ama Asia, wanaweza kwenda kunoa makali yao huko. Tukijua kwamba tukichukua wanariadha huwa tuna build kutoka level moja mpaka ile ingine, na hapo tunaweza kuona wale wanariadha tumeweza kuchukua. Kuna wengi wanainuka mpaka wanaenda kukimbia kwa kiwango cha.
He thanks his employer, the Kenya Police Service, who've journeyed with him and others all the way to make sure they realize their potential on and off the track.
Jambo la kwanza naweza sema wale wanariadha ambao wanaendelea vizuri humu nchini ni wale wanariadha wako kwa vikosi, sababu utakuja kupata kwa vikosi discipline ni paramount, ni 100%. Huko haikuangi ya kubahatisha. Kama ni wanariadha imesemekana tukae kwa kampu, unapata wote 100% mnakuja mnakaa kwa kampu kwa hiyo season yote. Kwa hivyo hautapata muda wa kutoka nje na kwenda kuzurura huko town na kufanya vitu zingine. Ingine ya pili, mwanariadha kama uko kwa kikosi, unajua ukipatikana na ndobi, ile hatua utachukuliwa kwa hiyo kikosi ni hatua ingine ngumu zaidi. Kwa hivyo wanajuanga pia tukiwa kwa kikosi hatupasi kujihusisha na mambo ambayo yanahusiana na ndobi. Ile ingine ni security wise. Tukijua ya kwamba ikifika saa 12 jioni wanariadha wote wanarudi kwa kambi, na tukisharudi kwa kambi tuko protected there.
His family has also held his hand, led by his wife Catherine Mulo of the Kenya Defence Forces, who's also doing a lot in the community.
Makao ni family person. Niko na bibi na watoto. Bibi yangu anaitwa Catherine Mutwa, ambaye tuliweza kuona juzi aliweza kupewa tunzo la doctorate na association moja imetoka America. Aliweza kupewa tunzo la doctorate kwa ile kazi anaweza kufanya kwa background mali yeye mwenyewe ametoka. She's a senior army officer, so kwa hiyo kazi anafanya ya society huko nyumbani, anasaidia vijana. Ako na camp ambaye anasaidia vijana kutrain wakiwa zero, anawasaidia na training facilities na wanasaidia na basics part of the training. Na kutoka hapo tunaweza kuona wanariadha wengi kutoka pande hiyo wanaendelea na kufanya vizuri.
And at the end of the day, it all boils down to the choices one makes in life, to enjoy it all or plan ahead and make the world a better place for oneself and others.
Inafikanga mahali tunaona wakimbiaji wetu wameenda huko nje, leo wameweza kujishindia pesa yao. Wakijishindia pesa yao wakifika hapa Kenya, ile kitu wanafanya ya kwanza ni kwenda kununua gari kubwa, ama wanaenda wananunua nyumba bila kujua hizi vitu wamenunua are they bringing income ama ni assets za kuamalizia pesa zao? Kitu ya kwanza, wanapaswa wakipata pesa waende wapate financial advisor, waeleze hii pesa umepata unaweza ifanyia hivi na hivi na hivi. Ndiposa kama kuna income utakuja kupata kwa hiyo nini, sasa unaweza fanya mambo mengine na unaweza saidia familia yako. Lakini unapata wanariadha wakati wameenda huko nje wanaanza kukimbia, wakikuja hapa hawaambiliki. Hakuna mtu unaweza muadvise wakati yako na pesa, na hizo pesa zinakuja zinawaharibu akili. Lakini hizo pesa wakati zinakuja kuisha, ndio diposa anaanza sasa kurealize yale mambo alikuwa anaambiwa ilikuwa ya ukweli.
Patrick Makau, the former world men marathon record holder, is also a UN environmental ambassador who advocates for all to use the natural environment, which is God-given, for training before they thrust themselves into the technological world, for it's also beneficial to the body mechanisms.
Jambo la muhimu naweza waadvise ni kwamba kukimbia ni process, na ikiwa process si jambo la kuanza leo na ukuwe mzuri kesho. Ni kitu ya kwanza na ina take time ndiposa uweze kufikia kwa mwanariadha bora. Ile ingine tuko na teknolojia nyingi sana ambazo siku hizi zinasaidia wanariadha kukimbia kwa mwendo wa kasi sana na kuimprove time. Kitu ya kwanza kabla unja njiengenje kwa hizo technology, train uweze kufanya mazoezi kabisa. Tukijua kwamba kuna kitu kama coach, mimi huwa na believe training, especially for Africans, it has a very big relation with the nature. Valia nguo asubuhi, kabla njua litokezee, ingia kwa msitu, breathe that oxygen, breathe vile sisi wenyewe tulikuwa tunafanya. Hapo naturally kuna yale mambo mengi sana unaweza kugain nao kabla technology kuje kuingililia nao mambo ya viatu na vitu kama hizo.
And there you've heard the story of Patrick Makau, former world record holder in the men's marathon, an episode of The Ace. Well, right now, let's take you over to Kakamega, and this is where we've got the launch of digital hubs, and there's also going to be a town hall meeting, and the chief guest is Prime Cabinet Secretary Musalia Mudavadi, and we also have got Governor Fernandez Baraza. We have got Cabinet Secretary in the Ministry of Information, Communication and the Digital Economy, Dr. Margaret Ndungu, and also we've got Principal Secretaries Engineer John Tanui and Professor Edward Kisiangani. So let's move over to the launch of the digital hubs and town hall meeting in Kakamega.
The point is around the applications. Having infrastructure and skills isn't useful unless you can use it for something. So having the cloud functions, whether it's Huawei Cloud or Konza Cloud, and having useful applications there to use infrastructure to really transform, I think as fellow PS mentioned around agriculture and other areas, that's where the life-changing impact happens. I want to give one very brief example before I finish, where we bring these three together. So we've been also connecting schools in Kenya. Over 21 schools, we'll also be launching them in January. They also were right next to the fiber. We selected special needs schools. And there we trained the university students to make special software and applications that can be used in those schools. So once you've connected those schools, you're also then developing the applications and content to be used by the teachers and the learners in those schools as well. So we're combining the training of the university students, the infrastructure, and the application content, together with Konza as well, in a way that really brings value and helps solve a pressing need for social and special needs education. So I think that's just my brief I wanted to say. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Adam. And following closely to that is Humphrey Muchuma of Inua AI. Emerging technology is seen as a disruptor, sometimes almost take away of the jobs, but also it's creating a huge opportunity for jobs. How can we leverage emerging tech to create opportunities and jobs? And what is the future? And how do we play in 2 minutes?
In 2 minutes, give me 3, please.
Fine.
I think it's important. I'll start with we will have, AI is going to take up a lot of jobs in every sector, in every industry vertical. Even in doctors, they will not lose their jobs, but there are certain kind of jobs they'll be doing. Even teachers we actually have a team in the US that we work with that actually have avatars of teachers that actually use voices of teachers to teach. So the teacher can actually program that avatar to teach, and he or she will take off, some time off from teaching. So it's going to take some jobs, but at the same time, it's going to create multiple jobs in the industry. But it's also important for our young people to take note of this. I'm going to rush through it really quickly. So let me look at the skills that our young people really need to upskill on. We'll look at the technical skills. I decided just to put them down. So we all have like the basic digital literacy, which is happening right there. But most importantly for us is to understand that the future is moving towards data analytics. So key skills in Excel, SQL, Python, those programming languages, web development, software development, cloud computing, AI and machine learning. When I'm talking about AI and machine learning, I'm talking about knowledge of AI concepts, data modeling, and tools like PyTorch. Those for the technology people will understand that. So, and then for another area that is really growing and is big is in the digital marketing space. So something as simple as search engine optimization. I'm saying this because majority of us are students, so for them just to take note. And then there's social media management. I didn't realize it has great potential until I started employing people in my company to work for Fortune 500 companies in the US. Content marketing, we've touched about it as well. And then the analytics. And then in cybersecurity is big. Data security, knowledge of protecting sensitive data, of course, and then threat analysis. An area that has been neglected is the side of compliance. You're not just there looking at the machines, the computers to check on the threats, but you're also enabling organizations comply. And then there's the creative skills in graphic design, video production, and then the soft skills that our sister, Madam P.S. Nyangala has talked about, collaboration, communication, which is key, critical thinking, adaptability, and then specialized skills in niche areas like e-commerce, which you've touched on, and then blockchain technology, data annotation. We'll adopt, I think, close to around 20 students. Yes. We'll give them full-time jobs to do data annotation from maybe around February. Through our organization.
Yeah. Clap for that. We have 20 jobs. Thank you.
Yeah, so, and I think what we need to encourage most will be continuous learning. Continuous learning is important. AI is not coming to take up our job, but it will create multiple jobs. Yes. And the multiple jobs I'm talking about is what I've just read about. Okay. So we need to upskill in those areas.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. And bringing it home, Honorable Eddie, I want to ask a question. This can only be done in the context of counties. And today we are in Kakamega County. The question is, how is a county leveraging its leadership position to provide direction that enables that change to happen at the grassroots level?
Thank you very much, Madam Dambuki. First of all, before I answer your question, I want to note that Kakamega County has a population of 70% youth, that is 35 years and below. And as counties, we are leveraging on that by passing policies and legislation that support the digital economy. Also, as a Kakamega County specifically, we have come up with a digital skills development bill that will ensure continuous institutionalization of training and the maintenance of these hubs. So as a counties, we are coming up with policies like in Kakamega County, we have come up with policies that requires us to have data centers in each and every municipality. And for now, through the leadership of the governor, His Excellency Fernandez Baraza, we are coming up with a data center in Mumias and another one in Malava. Also, as counties, we are also coming up with enough budgetary allocation continuous to sustain these digital hubs and data centers that we are coming up with. So it is through legislations that also attract partners from far and wide through PPP bill that we've just passed recently to invite them to come help us develop these hubs and maintain them.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Let's give them a good round of applause. Thank you. I want to transition this to a question and answer session, but only two. So the first two persons with burning questions, I can see one. One more? Two, yes. So please be upstanding. We have our team will help with roving mics. Please make your question 1 minute each. We have a team from Konza, from the ministry, that will be able to stand up so that in case you have any other questions, you can see one of our colleagues for that engagement. Let's start with the gentleman right at the front. Introduce yourself and ask your question.
Okay, my name is Gildon Opatishioso. I'm the MCA representing the people of Butoto South. We know that digital hubs have the potential to catalyze economic transformation through skills development, innovation, and job creation. However, I have a concern. I wanted to know, how does the county government, in collaboration with the stakeholders, plan to equip youth not only with technical skills, but also with financial literacy and entrepreneurial competencies to turn digital opportunities into tangible economic growth? And then number two, with the increasing global demand for locally relevant and diverse digital content, what specific strategies are being implemented through these digital hubs to empower content creators in Kakamega County to monetize their work, access global platforms, and protect their intellectual property while ensuring their contributions significantly impact the local economy? Thank you.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, officials, government officials. My name is Rosemary Segero. I'm a president of a company called Africa SIG Economic Development and an organization called Hope for Tomorrow. We focus on innovation and research, looking at vulnerable communities. I'm so excited and happy. I lived overseas for many years, and to say the truth, Kenya is one of the most innovative countries in the world compared to the really developed countries. So thank you very much. And my question is, while we are trying to talk here, we can talk as much as we talk. What about the infrastructure of power and electricity? As much as we talk when it comes to classes and actual IT itself, we need sustainable electricity power to run all you are talking about. So how can we partner with you? Because I focus more in the rural areas more than urban areas. And the most important thing is collaboration, private sector, NGOs, and the government. This is where the collaboration and partnership, how can we partner to make what you are saying work really? Because when you come from here, you'll go to Nairobi, you leave us in the rural area, nothing is happening. So we want that collaboration to follow with you what you are saying, that it happens. Thank you so much for this event.
Thank you very much. So allow me to ask that we take a response to the questions. I'll request my CEO, John Paul Okwiri, to respond to the question about capacity building, moving between tech skills, financial literacy skills, and also strategies to support content creators within the context of how we've structured the program under Jitume to support literacy for the youth. Please.
Thank you. Thank you for the question. Konza Technopolis, we are at the forefront of this digital transformation. And in this, we have worked through our Ministry of ICT and Digital Economy to create the program of Jitume Digital Enablement Program. This program, as I had mentioned earlier, focuses on providing in the right infrastructure in as far as ensuring that our institutions and our hubs are connected to the Wi-Fi, to the internet, and also we are able to provide the young people with the computer devices, and in that we are also able to provide training opportunities, skilling and upskilling, as had been mentioned by my colleague. And also, we are also linking them up with the digital jobs And this, we are working with partners. We have partners.
And the event that you're watching is the launch of the Kakamega Digital Hubs and also Town Hall that is taking place at the Kakamega the Kakamega Polytechnic, and Prime Cabinet Secretary Musalia Mudavadi is the chief guest, and also we have got Dr. Margaret Ndungu, who is the Cabinet Secretary, Minister of Information, Communications and Digital Economy. Governor Fernandez Baraza is the host at that event. Wycliffe Okech will be giving us details of that and more. Well, we know all that's happening, a lot of news stories that we are going to be covering today that we shall be getting in our subsequent news bulletins. And also from Mombasa, we can tell you that, the rains have been heavy, a lot of inclement weather, which means that the EAC Interparliamentary Games have had some stalls here and there, but Dan Mwendo is going to be giving us the story much later. Thank you for being with us this morning. Our sign language interpreter, has been Anne Ongeshi. My name is Daniel Wahome. Have a good day.
This is Nayanaingikalayo village, a remote part in Turkana County which is about 600 miles from the capital city of Kenya. Blessed with vast open lands, this place, which is historically known to be the cradle of mankind, has magnificent, breathtaking sceneries. Sadly, the thrill of the aerial spectacular views fades off quickly as one drives through this small town. Looking around, one is left wondering how the residents living in this semi-arid area survive, given there aren't any special amenities nearby, and most importantly, health facilities. After several miles of driving through the village, we finally come across this dispensary, the only facility around. Seeking medical attention here can be a nightmare to most people, and more especially those who reside in the far interior parts of this neighborhood. There is barely any means of transport that can be used for mobility in case of an emergency, and a motorbike can only be spotted once or twice after every 2 hours. That is probably the reason why there were only a handful of patients at the health center at the time of our arrival. Amidst all of these challenges, Sabina, a community health promoter, has defied all odds to bridge the gap and ensure that universal health coverage becomes a reality to the people living in her community. Her reason for being a community health promoter in her community is quite moving and inspiring.
Niko na miaka 5 sasa nimefanya hii kazi. Sasa niliingia tu kwa hiyo kazi kwa sababu roho yangu wapende kuangalia mtu napata shida, na mimi naangalia na macho iwezi saidia. Sasa afadhali nisaidie mtu, ndio hata Mungu yenyewe aniangalia mimi nafanya kazi yake. Mtu ikikonjeka napeleka huko hospitali, napata dawa, naandikia referral, ndio naenda hospitali. Nikipata mtoto yenye hajakunywa chanjo nitapeleka.
As a family woman, she has to juggle between parenting and serving the community.
Naolea mimi, ndio hii peti yangu nimepaa. Nimechukua na mzee yangu wa ndoa, ndio tunakaa hapa nyumbani. Naamkanga asubuhi. Kiamka asubuhi naosha watoto endeni kwa shule. Ninaingia kwa kazi yangu. Napeana watoto yao. Napunga naenda kwa mlima. Mwishowe anakuja kupigia watoto chai yenye anabaki nyumbani na mzee. Napigia mzee chai, napelekea. Kurudi huko mimi naoga, nikaenda kazi yangu.
In her community, Sabina is considered to be a health champion, and nothing can stop her from offering services to her community. Today, she's on a mission, and undoubtedly, she will have to endure the scorching sun, walking a long distance in order to fulfill the day's responsibilities as a community health promoter. She's visiting Bendetta, an expectant mother who's in her second trimester of her pregnancy and needs to undergo a routine prenatal checkup. For Bendetta, this is going to be her third delivery, and she's happy that this Sabina who helped her deliver her first 2 babies successfully is still the one looking after her.
I currently have 2 children and I am expecting the third. She has been my midwife and she took me to the hospital on a motorbike where I delivered my first and second born. After delivery, she took me back home. She is my doctor.
Simon Lotor is Bendetta's husband. He has high regards for Sabina as she has been of great help to his wife and the entire community.
Sasa nashukuru kama daktari wetu ya hii kijiji na bei. Hata amesaidia bibi yangu mali alikuwa anasikia. Bibi yangu alikuwa anasikia tumbo anauma na anasikia mgongo na anasikia mguu anauma. Sasa vile hii madaktari sasa hivi vile ameingia, mimi naona amesaidia bibi yangu. Huwa anatembelea 24 hours, mchana ama usiku. Sasa naona sasa hii kumbe hii serikali ya Kenya hii kumbe anafanya kazi.
Having been born and bred in this neighborhood, Rosaline equally appreciates the good work done by the community health promoter.
Amefanya kazi mzuri, anabeba wamama wale wajawazito, anapeleka hospitali, wanazaa, anarudisha, anapeleka wagonjwa, anatibia, anatembea usiku na mchana. Hata mimi nasimama vile ninasimama hivi, nikapata shida, akanipeleka hospitali, akanitumisa, akanirudisha. Sasa ninaambia Mungu adili na Sabina Nasuru, aendelee afanye hiyo kazi mpaka siku la mwisho.
According to Robert Eragai, a community health assistant at Nayanang Galalayu Dispensary, working with Sabina has been an inspiration to him and the rest of the community.
Sabina is doing a good job at the community. He's inspiring people, he's encouraging people in the community. That is why the promoters are being employed in the community.
Robert further notes that the work done by community health promoters has positively impacted on their service delivery through the provision of a direct linkage between their facility and the community. This is essentially leaving no one behind in the realization of the universal health coverage.
There is a UHC, which means the universal health coverage, whereby there is care reaching the community through the community health promoters. That is why the government needs everybody so that they can lower the mortality rate and morbidity rate in the community.
Hao wamekuwa wametusaidia sana kwa majukumu ambayo inatatiza sisi kwa upande health. So kwa ule mtu ambaye hajaifika ama yule mtoto ambaye hajaipata chanjo, ni rahisi sasa kwa kutrace na kutuletea hapa kwa hospitali hapa na kupata chanjo. Na pia na hii majanga hii magonjwa hii pia imedidimia juu sasa wao ndio tegemeo. Sasa bila wao sisi hakuna kazi tunaweza fanya.
Amidst all of this accolade, her work doesn't lack challenges.
Natembea usiku, natembea mchana, jua ni kali, na hata mimi yenyewe iko na njaa. Sasa mimi nakimbia tu, anasema daktari unisaidie. Sasa mimi nitasaidia namna gani kama sina kitu ya kusaidia? Nitoe kitu yenye mimi nabebanga watu, kama watoto nibebe, kama wamama nibebe. Wapi kufikia watu wanasema leta pesa, mimi nitatoa pesa wapi?
For Sabina, offering service to humanity gives her satisfaction and joy. This is why she keeps working as a community health promoter day in, day out. It's ultimately through such selfless acts done by selfless people that the world can be a better place.
you.